Hi everyone, I'm Horlicks, and now this is issue 6 of Build Your Own Classic Routemaster. So, I'm going to be honest, in this issue, I've already watched other people's builds and I was slightly dreading it because this is the issue where we fit the shock absorbers, and I've seen a lot of people struggle with this. So, I haven't tried it yet, but I have 3D printed a G-clamp, which I'm hoping is going to assist me in fitting these parts together, but we'll find out more. So before I crack on, let's just go on and check the parts and then go from there. So these are the parts. Let's check them off, make sure everything's there, and work out what parts are what. And straight away I can see some very small details in this packet. So, we've got 6A, which are trailing link mounts, which are these parts here, and these are metal. More metal parts. Brilliant. Okay, so they are trailing link mounts. We've got the upper trailing link, which there is 2 of them, which are these metal parts here. And then on there's one's written 1, and then one's got 2 on as well. Just see that in there. Okay, so there's 2 of those. Shock absorber fixture, which is 6C, which are these, and these are made of metal. Oh, and I've just dropped one, and they've got like a post on them. So yeah, we've got 2 of those. We've also got 6E, which is a suspension arm cover. And this is made of plastic, this part. We've got 6D, sorry, missed one, 6D, which are the shock absorber springs. And these springs are, yeah, you can hardly compress them. They're nice and solid springs. So I think I can now imagine why people had issues with getting that together. 6F, we've got the caps, and they're plastic caps, just silver plastic caps. There you go. And that's it. And then we also get GM screws with this, EM and HM. So I'm just going to put some screws away from the last one, which was FM from last week. And I've got like an organiser here, which assists me in holding all these screws, because we get a lot of spare. Every issue we'll get spare screws, so. So we've already got EMs, so I'm just going to top them up, and then the spare EM sticker we've got, I'm just going to stick on my box there. So these are all the metal screws, and these will be all the plastic screws. So we've got EMs there. We've also got some GMs. So that'll be a new sticker for the pot. But for now, I shall put them on here so I know what's what. And then we've also got some HMs. Okay, so now that's sorted, let's crack on with the builds and see if my 3D printed G-clamp is going to assist me in building this. It's untested, so you viewers with me now, we're all going to be testing this for the first time. So, step 1 is to fit the suspension arm cover 6E to open sided suspension arm, which we did in issue 5. So we need this part, and as you can probably guess, this is going to fit and cover that up nicely there. Now it isn't directional, that can go in any way you want. So it just depends what you feel like on the day. And then we're going to fit that in with GM screws. 3 of them. So 1, 2 and 3. Again, we're going into metal through plastic, so please don't be too rough on these because you may end up snapping or cracking that plastic cover. Okay, that's that one done, and then last one just over here on this edge. Okay, now I'm just going to test this screwdriver to make sure it's gripping, only because I find that where this is so short, it is quite uncomfortable to use at times. Okay, so step 2, we're going to fit the trailing link mount 6A to each end of the suspension arm. There's a peg on part 6A that locates neatly into a hole on the suspension arm 5A. So we're going to be using these parts here, and then this must be the locating pin that they're talking about. Okay, and that's going to fit on this bottom side, or the top side should I say. I'm not sure if this is the top or bottom, but underneath where we've just put this cover, you've got these 3 holes here. One of them's a locating pin, so that's just going to pop in like so and sit on there like that. Okay, and then we're going to fit that on with HM screws. There we go. That's one, and then I'll put the other one in. Again, you need a lot of force to get these screws in. Okay, so that is one in, and as you see, it took quite a lot of effort to get that one in. The screws go in a long way, and then we're going to do the same for the other side. We're just going to pop that in and then secure that with two of those HM screws. I'm just thinking as well, sometimes a good way to get grit, I don't do it very often because it can damage the screw, but it could make things easier for me. If I use, these are Phillips screws, but if I use I've got a very precise small flathead here, which fits nicely across. And sometimes you can get a really nice grip on that, which I am at the moment, so I'm going to go with that. Right, that's not working either. Okay, so once they're in, like so, we should have something that looks like that. Okay, so the next thing is this dreaded bit. So we need to flick this over, and we're going to put these springs into those holes. And then this is where this next job is. We're going to line these up, and they're going to fit down through the spring. And then they need to be pushed down and screwed into those 4 screw holes there. Now you need to do this as straight as possible, because if you look underneath, that peg needs to go through and clear that hole. So as you push on that, you see it's starting to come through. But you need to do that as well as keeping tension on the top there to get those screws in. So this is where I'm hoping my clamp might work. But of course it might not. just managed to secure that with my vice, my G-clamp. There you go, and the holes line up. So even if I get a couple in, so once we've done that and put that on, we're going to attach that with EM screws. So let's see how that goes. And I'll be pleased if this did work, because even if it just helped for this, it means I haven't wasted a print, if you see what I mean. Okay, I've got one in. Oh. Ah! Okay, so I've got one in. And I'm sorry for being off camera, I just had to get that tight. Oh, okay. Okay, I've got two of them in. So it has worked with fashion, and that snapping you heard was just this clamp hanging off, but it survived. Okay, and then the fourth screw. So that is not going anywhere. And then just check that works, which it does. That's some really hard suspension. Oh, okay, so that's what the principle is. So obviously put this through the spring and then get the 4 screws in there, but make sure this peg at the bottom does come through there and doesn't get caught. Now, you have guessed it, we're going to do exactly the same again with the other side. So let's have another go and see if I can get this this G-clamp to hold at all. And it seems to be holding quite well on this one, as you can see. It's just a matter of getting this screw in. To start it all off. I'm just going to use a longer screwdriver just because of my the clamp. Okay, that's one in. Oh, I've got a bit of a knack going on now. Okay, that one's not going in quite yet, so I'm just going to loosen the clamp a bit, and then I'll line up the hole on the other side. There we go, and that is now going in beautifully on that side. And then I should be able to get another one in with the clamp in place. No, so I'm going to take that off. 2's enough to hold it. And then 4th one just in there. So I was sort of dreading that part, but no, it was easy. No, I'm joking. I can fully understand how some of you had a real issue with that. That was hard work, and you know, my hands have gone red, and it takes a lot of force to get that to sit into place. So this 3D printed device has helped me a lot, you know. And I'll stick that away for maybe another time. We must have rear springs to come. I speculate. So okay, so once we've done that on both sides, we are then going to attach these upper trailing links. And what's going to happen is we're going to tip this upside down, or right way up, whatever way this is going to sit, and they're going to fit onto these 3 holes, 1, 2, and then this side, and they're going to fit in such a way that the detail is uppermost. So you can see there's like a nice bit of detail on there with the 4, looks like bolts. If you put it on the other way, it's just going to look ugly, and you've got number 2 written there. So make sure that is the right way. And then that's all going to fit together and look something along those lines. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fix that all together with GM screws. So it wants a GM screw, 4 of them for each one. So you're going to put 1 GM screw in there. And they don't actually go through very far. It only took a few turns to tighten that. Okay, that's 2. And then we want to take another GM screw, make sure that that is lined up. So you can see right through the hole, which you can just see my finger or my hand on the other side of that hole, see? And then we're going to put a GM screw through there. And this does go through quite a long way. And then we're going to get another one, and then we're going to put that through the other side, and I expect that those screws will meet in the middle. Oh, I've just put the screw again. And then we'll go through. And there we have it. And then we've got all working suspension on that side. That's brilliant, and this is getting so heavy now. So, we're going to repeat all that again for the other side. So we're going to need 4 of the GM screws again. Again, we're going to put this on with the detail uppermost. Put that on like so. So we're just going to line that up. Again, they don't go in very deep at all on this part. And then again, the 2. Make sure the hole meets and it's clear, and then we're going to put a screw through. And there we have that side, and then just push that, check that works, which it does. And there we have the front suspension by the looks of it. That is just amazing, and I just can't believe the weight of this. It's really, really heavy now. Okay, so once we've done this part, we're going to grab all of the plastic caps that we got. And what we're going to do with these is we're just going to pop these into, we need 8 of them, and they're going to go into these recesses. As you look at it this way, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are just push fit. And they go on really nicely. I say, yeah, that one's gone on. Yeah, they're quite a tight fit, so might be worth a little bang. I know, there you go, that one's on. And then there you go, that's one side done, and that just finishes that off nicely and hides those screws. And I really like that, actually. I really like that idea. It just shows that they've put some thought in, because, you know, with this being underneath the bus, yes, you're probably not going to see these screws. But it's nice that they've thought about the fact that, you know, they may be seen if, you know, if you were to look under the bus. So they're just hiding it all up, if that makes sense. I'm just rambling now. Oh, one, I've got a faller. I've got a faller. Okay, I've got one that doesn't seem to want to stay. It's not tight enough. So I could try and swap it with a different one in case it's the hole. That's a bit of a better fit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not coming off now. There you go. And that is the completed section. Okay, so that was issue 6. It was quite a long build, but very, very thorough. There was lots to do. I mean, the instructions, you know, jam-packed full of bits, where to put all the screws and diagrams, and so yeah, I'm happy with that. And again, nice weight to this. And I've got working suspension, so I'm glad I printed the G-clamp, as I say. It hasn't been a waste for a print. It did sort of assist me in doing that part, so I'm happy. So that's it. Until next week, take care. Please like, share, subscribe, and see you soon. Take care. Bye.